Tesla stock is up 7.82% on really good news. The markets are up, of course, as well, but not close to 8%. Tesla delivered 18,712 vehicles in China, making it the best single week for deliveries in China this quarter. I fully agree with Sawyer here. This easily beats all expectations. Tesla is now very close to beating the previous best quarter in China. Specifically in China, this January was the best first month of any quarter. This February was the third best second month of any quarter. And this March has the potential to be the best third month of any quarter, specifically in China. To beat the best third month, we would need to deliver about 30,000 more vehicles, which is pushing it. I mean, it is not impossible. Certainly at some point it will happen, but will it happen this quarter? That is not clear. James says that this week strongly suggests 135,000 for China and another quarterly record. Tesla is indeed pillaging the Chinese market. BYD is not exactly doing great with all electric Seal. The sales are still quite low, only 1,000 for this week. This is while Tesla is absolutely crushing it. In February, BYD sold about 7,700 Seals, which was about 1,900 per week. So now BYD is selling half of that, and the February number is already half of December roughly. Seriously, it's not great for BYD right now. Not to mention that the rumor that I reported yesterday about BYD cutting its production by about half is seemingly turning out to be true. Reuters is now reporting that BYD has reduced shifts at 2 auto assembly plants in China. In this factory, BYD went from 3 shifts per day to 2 per day, for people with knowledge of a development said. BYD is in trouble. Tesla is not. Troy has updated his delivery estimates, and the numbers, of course, look better. The analyst consensus is still at 420,000. It seems that we are likely to exceed that number. I think because Troy was overly optimistic in the last 2 quarters, I think he might be a little bit too pessimistic, and now he's trying to be safe. Although he is generally usually right. We'll see what the actual deliveries are. His track record is pretty good. But there were substantial misses in the last 2 quarters, certainly. And it is crazy what is happening in Europe right now. Look at Portugal. This is getting out of hand here, as the delivery centers, Lisbon and Porto, are overloaded with Teslas to deliver till the end of Q1. Tesla is kindly asking people to get their car directly from the trucking company's parking lot. Wow. As ships stop coming in, this number will probably start dropping faster. But it would be wise to have some inventory for the beginning of the next quarter in Europe left, so that we don't need to rush at the end of the quarter and pay more for shipping and deliveries. Last quarter in Europe, we had 93,500, but Troy only expects about 80,000. This was as of March 18th. But now even a Tesla skeptic says, taking the latest data into account, European Tesla deliveries are trending to hit 85,000 this quarter, probably 90,000, which would be 10,000 above where Troy was just recently. And just 3 weeks ago, he was saying that he was expecting about 30,000 less deliveries in Europe. He says weird ordering and even weirder delivery patterns, completely different from even 1 quarter ago. Here's what James has for his estimates. US 170, Canada 10,000, EU 85, China 135, rest of the world 30. So about 30,000 vehicles delivered this quarter. Possible upside in Europe and US, 10,000 each, possibly up to 450,000 deliveries. He thinks over 420,000 is a safe bet. Yeah, at this point, less than that would be quite a disappointment. But the thing that I am most interested in is what the margins are going to look like in Q1. James thinks these will surprise to the upside. And with the lithium prices falling off the cliff, that is certainly a possibility. Sawyer is reporting that EU registrations of Teslas, which reflect sales, rose to 19,249 this February from 12,860 in the same month the previous year. However, this doesn't take all the countries in Europe into consideration. When we include the UK, Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland, then the numbers look like this, which makes the growth slightly less. Looking at Tesla's battery electric vehicle market share, that increased 58% year over year, while its auto market share went 76% higher, making Tesla share of battery electric vehicles 15.5% in January and February in Europe. That's up from about 10% last year. But what makes the sales in China specifically even more impressive is that overall car retail sales in China fell by almost a fifth in January and February from a year ago, with many consumers avoiding large purchases. Tesla has been one of the few that continue to record domestic sales growth. Gary Black thinks that Tesla stock today is moving for three reasons. The Moody's credit upgrade, I would mostly disagree with that. Maybe it's helping a little bit, certainly, but not by much, because in the after hours yesterday, Tesla stock did not move basically at all. So I would be quite surprised if this was the actual reason, maybe a little bit, but not much. But certainly China weekly insurance numbers, yeah, these are moving the stock a lot. And of course, the market is up generally as well. And I think this is probably giving many people some confidence. Elon says that the government could backstop deposits at more banks if there's a risk of contagion. First Republic Bank today is up quite a bit. The stock is still down 90%. Wow. That's after an increase of 30% in one day, basically. I fully agree with this point that Gary has. The debate about whether Tesla should be valued like an auto or a tech company is insane. Tesla stock is a growth stock. With 30% long-term growth, units will grow from 1.9 million in 2023 to 10 million in 2030. I think that's conservative, as EV adoption surges from 10% to 60%. There's some more good news for stocks in general. The CPI in Canada is 5.2% versus 5.9% previously, which also beat estimates of 5.4%. So inflation is looking better here in Canada. Hopefully the same will translate to the US as well. Sam Kors from ARK Invest says that as lithium prices fall, CATL is offering long-term contracts rumored to be at 200,000 CNY, which would be, current prices are about 50% higher than what they are offering right here, but I would expect this to keep falling down. California is making a move. It is expected to move forward with the diesel trucks ban. Now, I personally don't really think these are actually necessary because it just makes so much more economical sense to switch to electric trucks anyway, but this will help Tesla. Ford unveiled an all-electric Ford Explorer, but in Europe. Here's what the car looks like, and that's a bit weird. They still have a key, and I don't understand why not in the US. People like bigger cars in the US, not so much in Europe. People still like bigger cars in Europe, but not as much. They said deliveries are expected to start early next year. We'll see if that actually comes true. There's a positive article on Barron's about Tesla and Moody's upgrading Tesla. I suspect this is the reporter that Alexandra talked to. So perhaps this reporter helped us get Tesla to be upgraded to investment grade. There's also this spectacular show going on with Tesla lights and everything. All Teslas. 100% all Teslas. Pretty nice. Drive Tesla Canada is reporting that the second Tesla Cybertruck Giga Press is arriving in Texas. I also saw a Tesla economist tweet, if Tesla beat 405,000 deliveries for Q1, it will be the first time Q1 deliveries exceeds the previous Q4 deliveries over about 5 years. So obviously very likely. Now, while I agree that certainly I think we will beat last quarter, if you look at Q4 of 2021, and this is Tesla's website, we have 308,600 deliveries. And Q1 of 2022 had 310,000 deliveries, just a few more, although production was slightly lower by about 400 vehicles. So it certainly wouldn't be the first time, but that is a pretty big deal. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.